I'm scanning now. Oh, jump and... Oh, so it's what? Boom! Oh my god! Get down, motherfucker! Oh, shit! Oh. You're dead. They're on to me. I got two guys on me. Oh! Get down. Get down! Piece of shit! Oh no, I gotta... be all medi. Hey agents, so I finally decided to do a full in-depth video about everything system corruption. We're talking PvE, PvP, multiple builds, playstyles, strengths and weaknesses. But before all that, if you've been enjoying all the blind noob content until now, make sure to subscribe. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's free. And if by the end of this video you feel like a system corruption demigod, hit the thumbs up. Alright, on to the main course. Starting with what system corruption is all about. 2 pieces gives you 15% armor on kill. Not the greatest bonus, but it can come in clutch once in a while. 3 pieces gives you 40% pulse resistance and 40% disrupt resistance. You'd think that the 40% pulse resistance plus the 50% from the specialization tree would make you almost immune to pulses, but it doesn't seem to work, or at least not fully in conflict, unfortunately. On to the 4-piece. This is what makes system corruption the most unique gear set in the game. Your armor kit is replaced with an infinite use ability on a 20-second cooldown. It gives you 50% bonus armor for 5 seconds, plus it repairs 20% of your armor instantly. On top of that, you deal 1% total weapon damage for every 5% bonus armor you currently have. This bonus armor doesn't need to come from your ability, it can come from any source including tardigrade, vigilance, etc. So at 50% bonus armor, you'll be dealing an additional 10% total weapon damage. So this is multiplicative damage, so it's a significant number. Of course, as you lose bonus armor, you'll also be losing the damage as well. Finally, your nameplate is hidden for 5 seconds so enemies won't be able to see how much armor you have, making it hard for them to judge the balance of the fight. Use this correctly and you're sure to get a few accusations from players unfamiliar with this set. This ability allows you to turn losing fights in an instant. It allows you to play extra aggressive and survive when you find yourself out of position. It gives you the survivability of a shield without the loss of mobility. Next, let's check out the chest piece and the backpack. I honestly can't imagine any situation where you'd use the chest piece. All it does is reduce the ability's cooldown from 20 seconds to 15 seconds. It's simply not worth it to sacrifice your chest piece talent for. As for the backpack, this has a great bonus. It boosts your bonus armor on the ability from 50 to 100%. You'll also be getting more damage. So when you use your ability, now you'll get 20% total weapon damage. This gives you a huge burst damage potential, as well as incredible survivability if you use the ability at the right time. Now let's go through some builds you can make with system corruption. I currently have 5 different builds with it, 4 for PvP and 1 for PvE. First, we'll look at my PvE build. I just recently put this together as I wanted to know how effective it could be, and the results were very positive. As a solo, I was able to cruise through heroic content. I've actually included my first solo run at the end of this video so you can decide for yourself if this is a build you're interested in using. Here's the build I use in solo. I use an Intimidate chest piece. This is so powerful with system corruption because you'll be getting the bonus damage from the set plus 35% amplified weapon damage from Intimidate whenever you have bonus armor. And with Intimidate, you only need a fraction of a percent of bonus armor to get that 35%. Then I use the Memento backpack, as this gives an extremely powerful boost to system corruption and Intimidate, because every kill gives you bonus armor for 10 seconds. So if you position yourself well and use the shield, you'll have over 35% bonus damage at all times. This is very important. As you'll see here, your crit damage is really low, so you'll be relying on your bonus damage. The key thing to remember in PvE is that your bonus armor is not for survivability. It's for damage. This build takes a very aggressive playstyle, as you'll want to be within 10 meters of the enemies to proc Intimidate as often as possible and to pick up Memento trophies. So you'll be relying on your shield. For this reason, I run the Tactician specialization, as it gives an extra tier to my shield, bringing it up to tier 5. As long as your shield is up, you'll have a much easier time protecting your bonus armor. In group play, I swap Memento for Adrenaline Rush because it's much more difficult to get trophies when you're playing in a group. To proc Adrenaline Rush, I just need to be within 10 meters of enemies. As for brand sets, you'd be best off with either 2 Sokolov or 1 Sokolov and 1 Grupo Sombra. For guns, as this is a close range build, I use SMGs. My personal favorite now is the Vector SBR with Measured. Optimus actually probably gives more total damage to a Vector, but I just like the feel of the super fast rate of fire on the first half of the magazine with Measured. I've also tested fast hands, but the Vector reload speed is pretty quick already, so it didn't make much of a difference. So that's it for my PvE build now. You can see me run Lincoln Memorial on Heroic at the end of this video. On to my original PvP system corruption build. This one I've built around SMGs. Again, I'm running the Vector SBR. For this build, I'm running the backpack for 100% bonus armor when I use the ability. That's 20% total weapon damage plus 35% from my Intimidate chest piece. That's a whole lot of damage, especially considering I'm at 2.6 million armor. Also, I'm running the Coyote mask, which I think should be on every close range build. It gives 25% crit damage when you're within 15 meters. And because I'm running Intimidate, I want to try to only engage when I'm within 10 meters. So it's perfect for me. Looking at my stats, my crit is pretty low, but you can bump that number up to 165%, including the Coyote mask buff. For this build, I've chosen the Survivalist specialization because of the fire grenades, which are super useful for area denial, and the crossbow, which is just fun to use. And no, you do not get the armor kit bonus from the specialization. After all, this is an ability, not an armor kit. Unlike in PvE, where you're using the ability strictly for damage, in PvP it provides tons of damage and amazing survivability. Your timing on when you use your ability is what can make a great system corruption player. Popping it too early is something you need to try and resist doing, especially with this build. If you try and 1v1 someone without the ability, you're going to have a hard time. But if you get it right, you can smash through their shield and armor with 1 Vector mag. Practice makes perfect when it comes to learning the timing, but my best advice would be to wait until the enemy has committed to the fight before activating it. Remember, on top of the 100% bonus armor, you're also getting 20% regular armor. So let them commit, get some damage on you, they'll think that they're going to win the fight until you pop your ability and absolutely crush them. Okay, so this video just keeps going. Let me get a drink of water and catch my breath for a second. Okay, so next up is my AR System Corruption build. This one is based around the Ridgeway's Pride chest piece, which applies bleed on hit provided the target is within 15 meters. On top of that, you get armor repair based on the number of enemies that are bleeding within 15 meters. The more enemies that are bleeding, the stronger the repair. For this build, I've chosen a Wicked Backpack. This gives me 18% total weapon damage for 20 seconds after applying a status effect. It goes perfectly with Ridgeways, as you'll be constantly applying bleed to your targets, thus resetting the buff. I chose Seska over Fenris as the brand, as this build seriously lacks crit chance, and the 10% from Seska One Piece is extremely efficient. If I chose Fenris, I'd need to reroll 2 crit damage attributes to crit chance to make up for the lost 10% and losing 24% crit damage. Finally, I have Sadist on my FAMAS. You can go with whatever AR you are comfortable with. I use the FAMAS because of the very tight bullet spread, which makes it easier to hit headshots at a close to mid-range. This is not a headshot build, but to be able to win close range fights against SMGs with shields, you have to be able to hit headshots. If you're not comfortable hitting headshots, you may want to use the SMG build and or the next builds I'll be introducing. Anyways, this build is not as dependent on the ability as the SMG build. You can still 1v1 without the bonus armor due to how well Ridgeways, Wicked, and Sadist complement each other. Another great thing about the bleed is it slows down your target, making it easier to hit your shots, in particular headshots. My specialization for this build is Sharpshooter because of the 15% recoil control. It really helps the FAMAS, plus the TAC-50 is a badass sniper rifle. The next build is more of a tanky support build. It's all blues with tardigrade. This gives your teammates 40% of your armor, or 720k, when their armor breaks as bonus armor. It's like Unbreakable, but for your entire team. I used to use this with the backpack, but I thought the bonus 1.8 million for 5 seconds was overkill. Enemies would rarely break my bonus armor before it just expired. So I swapped it out for Adrenaline Rush. This gives me up to 3 stacks of 20% bonus armor, so a max of 60% on a 5-second cooldown. The objective of this build is survival, not bursting down enemies. So you want to keep moving as much as possible and pick your moments to chip away at enemies' armor. Then, use your ability whenever you need a damage boost or you're getting focus fire. The Vector or Lady Death are perfect for this build, as they give you a lot of damage in a short time. With this build, you want to be right in the middle of the fight, drawing fire away from your teammates. Staying close to multiple enemies will keep your adrenaline rush stacks up, but you need to be able to strafe as well. Any specialization can work with this build, but I use Survivalist again for the fire grenade and the crossbow. To be honest, Firewall would probably be stronger, but I really hate the flamethrower as it's been broken in conflict for over a year, so I won't use that specialization. It's just a personal thing. Finally, my last build I made just because I needed something different. I'm not a practice shotgun player, but I wanted to know if they were usable with system corruption. I'm using the Super 90, however, the M870 would be much better suited to this build given how overpowered it is right now. Just like with the SMG build, I'm using Intimidate and Coyote Mask. Naturally, just as with any shotgun build, you want to get as close as possible to do maximum damage. You'll probably have noticed by now that the crit damage on these builds is pretty low. And that's because the 4 pieces of system corruption give you absolutely nothing in terms of crit. In fact, you get virtually nothing from the set aside from the ability. That's why it's so important to try and fight as little as possible while the ability is on cooldown. This doesn't mean run out of fights completely, but try to be a little more passive. Let your teammates take aggro for a few seconds, then when your ability is back, you better get your ass back to the front lines. Alright, on to my skills. For my PvE build, I use the shield, which is a must for this build. It is your best way to protect your bonus armor. After that, you could run a Revive Hive, Riot Foam, or even a Striker Drone to take some aggro. It's up to you. I wouldn't recommend healing skills as your main priority is bonus armor, not regular armor. For my PvP builds, I almost always use the Scanner Pulse and Booster Hive. The scanner pulse makes it so much easier and safer to flank. Even with the long cooldown in conflict, I think this skill is so worth it. I like to think of these builds as assassins. Get behind enemy lines, kill someone, then get out. Wait 15 seconds and repeat. As for tardigrade, however, you won't be flanking much, so depending on the other team's composition, you may want to switch to a jammer pulse. Since there's no Hasbro on this build, stinger hives can be very troublesome. My second skill is a booster hive. If the other team has any status effects, a booster hive is almost necessary for system corruption. You can't just apply an armor kit when you get hit by fire or bleed. Your ability can absorb a lot of the burst damage, but it won't help you with the tick. But when you get hit with a sticky bomb and your ability is off cooldown, just pop it, drop your booster hive, and you'll be able to continue pushing his shit in. If you need to pass through a stinger hive but don't have time to shoot it, drop your booster hive at around the midway point. Your booster drones will hit you after the stinger hits you to remove the bleed, and you can be on your merry way. There are times where the booster just doesn't work. I mean, like the drones just don't come out. If this happens, blow up your hive and you'll get a fresh one. So that pretty much covers everything you need to know about system corruption. If you feel like I missed something, or if you still have questions, go ahead and leave a message in the comments section below. As promised, I'll leave you with my first PvE run using system corruption in a heroic mission. If you'd like to see more PvP gameplay, check me out at www.twitch.tv/theblindnoob. I'm often in conflict or helping viewers farm pieces for their builds. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, there's a lot of those heavies too in this mission. I'm kind of scared of those guys. Unless I can blow up their. Got your knee pads. Where are you, friends? Okay. No heavy there, so it's kind of lucky. Hey, Wagon, how you doing, man?
Agent, you'll need to find a way to open that gate.
Yeah, that clip you sent me, dude. Was it? So did you? Was your body on another guy's body? Because I'm thinking like, how could anybody have beef in Wagon Burner? Turret, man. That ain't cool. I feel like an idiot shield walking, but whatever. Gotta protect the bonus armor. Yeah. I am unkillable. Yeah, so far so good, huh? Oh, rolled it. Nah, just me, angry boys. Yeah. Real angry. I don't know. I don't really have a problem with BLK at all. Like, sure they run cheese, but everybody runs cheese. They don't have like cheese strats. Ah. Okay. Oh, hi. Ah. Uh-oh. What's this gonna do? Holy shit! Okay. Hey, busted my shield, but holy fuck. Pretty happy with this so far.
Check the interior while I get Henry's people to maintain.
I kind of think you can keep your bonus armor up. This might be a pretty good, like, basically my theory, or not my theory, my hope is that just that it's viable in PvE, so that, you know, with all like this dry spell that we're on right now, there's nothing new to run. Everybody's looking for something new. I've been running Hunter's Fury, want something new. I would say there's no DPS build more interesting than System Prep. That's why I run it like 98% of the time. Just such kind of an interesting build to run. Oh boy. Ah! Oh boy. Using my shield. You know what I'm doing? I'm so used to playing on American servers. If any of you guys have ever experienced, or if you've played on servers that are not your own in this game, you can stop shooting before the guy's dead. Like before you finish the guy. And basically because of the little bit of lag, you're gonna kill him. I don't really know how to explain it. Like the full damage of your bullets hasn't shown on screen yet, and that's what I'm used to. So I might as well loot this shit. So I'm used to that. I'm always playing on the NA servers, but you can see I stopped shooting everybody too early. Kind of a bad habit, I guess. Alright, Wag. Oh, that is so good. That is the taste of a week well done. A job well done for another excruciating week. I don't think that's actually saved me any time here. Where am I going? Where it is... Here we go. Actually been a while since I've done this mission. I've actually been playing a little bit of PvE recently. It's kind of a nice, I want to say relaxing, but I know this room is not relaxing. This room is anything but relaxing. These guys coming from all around. Ah, it's not what I want. Now the whole thing with the bonus armor with this build, in PvE, it's not gonna keep you alive. It's not for survival, it's for damage. So don't be like, well, he's not gonna kill me, I don't need to pop my medkit. Well, your medkit's, honestly, it's not gonna save you. In PvP, hell yeah, it's gonna save you. But I think PvE is, you gotta play it completely different. You're using it just for damage. So like, even if you have just a sliver bonus armor. Like, that's all you really need. That's your 35%. As long as you're within, what, 10 meters or something? Just need to maintain that little bit of bonus armor. Because what you, like, you also get, from the system corruption, you also get bonus armor per percent. You get total weapon damage per percent of bonus armor that you, but it's, you know, the absolute maximum you get there is 20%. Have I used any? Breaking it down then. A weird feeling to be full on printer film. I was optimizing.
According to the schematics I had to pull upstairs, we can lock that tunnel door from the control center. That should keep
Recalibrating. It's always the printer filament that I ran out of, and like electronics. Excuse me. Got mowed over, bitch. Where do they come from next? Boom. See, even that, see that little bit of you know, you miss every shot. Damage modifier is not going to do anything, but you have that little bit of bonus armor. It makes a huge difference on this build. So yeah, I'd say so far this build's pretty nasty actually. I'm doing this faster,
That should keep it from getting more of those mortars.
with more ease than I was expecting. Now here's the real test of the 3 bosses. Uh-oh. Other guy here, yeah. Mother. Shield walk. Ah! Wait, what? Did I not? Oh. Oh. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ian, get EMP'd, bitch. How am I gonna deal with you? Oh no. Ah, motherfucker. So here's... well, we should be okay. Just hold out for like 10 seconds, get my medi, and then... or just wait for his invincibility to go off. Why does he go invincible? What's the deal with this guy? Okay, here we go.
Good work. You want to head back up. The team from the campus has taken position.
I missed you,
inside the
bro.